A win for them is a win for the greater Philadelphia community. PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
Piazza Premium Automobiles is proud to serve as the halftime sponsor of the Eagles Radio Network as the team drives for another win. Experience ultimate luxury in a newer certified pre-owned vehicle from Piazza Premium Automobiles with exclusive brands like Land Rover, Jaguar, Porsche, BMW, Infiniti, Alfa Romeo, Maserati, and Mercedes-Benz. You're sure to elevate your drive. To find the Pennsylvania, Delaware, or New Jersey location nearest you, visit PiazzaPremiumAutos.com. E.D. Moyer Lumber is your window expert. Anderson 400 series are the clad wood windows more contractors trust for their own homes. Contractors love them because they're easy to install, time-tested, and are the windows with fewer callbacks. Homeowners love their superior design with styles that bring their unique vision to life. Based on a 2022 Anderson brand survey of U.S. contractors, your Anderson expert is A.D. Moyer Lumber in Gilbertsville, Pottstown, Bethlehem, and Kutztown, and on the web at admoyer.com.
Hey, Joe DeCamera here. 'Tis the season for Tasty Cake. That chill in the air means it's time to snag those limited edition Tasty Cake treats. Enjoy your favorite holiday flavors like Frostbite donuts and salted caramel cheesecake pies. Or warm up the family with some hot chocolate and mint chocolate candy cakes. Hurry over to your local store right now to stock up on the best flavors of the season because the holidays aren't complete without your favorite Tasty Cake treats. Grab these treats before the season ends and make today tasty with Tasty Cake, except no substitutes.
The Bob Pantano Saturday Night Dance Party is at Adelphia Restaurant and Bar in Deptford, broadcast live exclusively on the Odyssey app and 98.1 HD2 Dance Party Radio. Brought to you by Colonial Nissan on Bustleton Pike in Feasterville. If you can't make a deal with Jason Friedman and Ron Schwartz at Colonial Nissan, you can't make a deal with anybody. And join Bob Pantano for dinner and dancing in Adelphia every Saturday night. And now you can listen to Dance Party Radio 24/7 on your Alexa, Google, smart speaker, or device, and on the Odyssey app on Xfinity TV. Connect at BobPantano.com.
Some songs make you want to sing along, and some make you want to get up and dance. They make you feel good. That's how we want you to feel when you purchase a new or pre-owned Nissan from Colonial Nissan in Feasterville. Hi, I'm Jason Friedman of Colonial Nissan, and you can't see me, but right now I'm getting ready to listen to Bob and get up and dance. So dance on over to Colonial Nissan, and we will have you dancing out with a great deal that will make you sing with excitement. Visit us online at colonialnissan.com.
What's up, Pennsylvania? It's time for football at BetMGM. Take the field using promo code KOSTOS, KOSTOS, and receive up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. When you register with BetMGM, you'll get instant access to a variety of parlay selection features, live betting options, original bets, and the best daily promotions in the business. Plus, when you huddle up with BetMGM at your fingertips, every pass, every catch, and every game matter more than ever. Remember to use code KOSTOS, KOSTOS, and receive up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. Football is back, Pennsylvania sports fans. Don't miss out on any of the hard-hitting action. Place your moneyline prop and parlay bets with BetMGM today. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 years of age or older. Pennsylvania only. New customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards are non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 7 days. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, help is available. Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Zach Gelb with an Odyssey Sports Minute, sponsored by BetMGM, the sportsbook born in Vegas. Please gamble responsibly. The Georgia Bulldogs have been vulnerable all year long, and even after Carson Beck got injured, they still found a way to win the SEC championship game. The Kansas City Chiefs have also been vulnerable all year long, and are still somehow 12-1. We keep on saying these teams are vulnerable, but will anyone be able to actually beat these teams when it matters? Because if not now, then when? I'm Zach Gelb.
94 WIP HD1 Philadelphia. Powered by the Tasty Cake Studio. This is Sports Radio 94 WIP. An Odyssey sports station. This is the Players Lounge on your home for Eagles football. Sports Radio 94 WIP.
Welcome back to Sports Radio 94 WIP. It is the Chickies and Pete's Players Lounge. We're at Chickies and Pete's in South Philly. I'm your host, Ike Reese. I got my brother, my partner in crime, my teammate for over 2 decades. Hugh Douglas is in the house with me, Eagles Hall of Famer.
Hi. I always think you're going to say me when you start like that.
Well, once I said Eagles Hall of Famer,
that was a good giveaway.
You are a teammate too, though, Eliot.
And our other teammate, our third teammate.
Yes.
Listen, one of the best soccer players in 16U history.
I did lead the JV team in goals. No big deal to me.
He's Insider of the Year.
And Insider of the Year.
Well, someone else might get it after.
Eliot Shorr-Parks is in the
What's
house,
up?
ladies and gentlemen.
Man, interesting night.
Yeah, well, so let me say this.
To say the least.
Let me say this, all right, before you two get rolling. 9th straight win yesterday.
Yeah.
Team is 11-2. You got any thoughts on the game from yesterday?
Great win. Just a great win. No, I think that to kind of maybe get into all this, like when that game hit 0, my initial thought on it was they earned a performance that wasn't great. They were great against Baltimore. They were great against the Rams. They were great against Washington. I was very content with they won the game. That's kind of all that matters. And then next week against Pittsburgh, you hope that they kind of play better than they did. But when I went down to the locker room, there's been very few times in my career where I've gone to a locker room and it changes my entire opinion on the game. Mm-hmm. And when you get down there and you just feel anger is probably too strong.
Anna.
It's just like animosity. When you just feel the dissatisfaction from the offensive players after a win, it felt like I had been transported back to 2023. Like it felt like a locker room during the collapse. So just the last thing quickly, so we can feel however we want to feel about the game, but they're telling us how to feel. They weren't happy with it.
All right, let me say this. No, you go ahead. Because
day after we clinched the playoff. No, you got it, Ike. I mean, I'm curious to hear what your thoughts are.
Well, my fear is this is a repeat of 2023, or we could be headed that way. That's what my fear is. Now, I don't know how deep whatever issues that may be there run. I don't know how deep it runs and whether or not this can be resolved. It can be hashed out over the next few days. We all just listened to the Brandon Graham show. We heard BG's comments during the show.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, some of those comments, and let me just say this first and foremost. I believe BG is always coming from a place of what he thinks is in the best interest of the team. He's never been a guy that's about selfishness. He's never been a guy about drama. And listening to him, what it sounded like to me was a team captain really calling for guys to come together and sort of figure out whatever is going on with them to get it figured out. Now, I don't know if doing it on our airwaves is the best place to do it, but I think he's earned that. He's earned the ability to do that and have it viewed not so much as someone that's, I don't know, enhancing what could be a problem as versus him trying to find resolution with what's going on. And he's a captain. He's been a captain in many years, played more games here than anybody's ever put on that uniform. So I want to make sure I get that out there. For when people hear the clips or see the cuts, they may wonder where his motive is and where he's coming from. I'm saying he's coming from a place of wanting to bring unity and get this team back on the same page.
I hear what you're saying, and I love BG as he's over there sign autograph. Just as well as I do, that dog don't hunt because.
What you mean?
I understand him trying to bring the team together, but
context matters.
Yeah, that's going to be more divisive at this point than anything.
Could be.
No, you're right, because what happens is this: the message is not being received because of the way it was delivered. You see what I'm saying? And that's where the problem lies, because now.
Well, what message are you talking about?
Well, what BG is saying.
Yeah.
The person that he's trying to get the message to, or the person when he hears the message, is not going to receive it the way that it was meant to be received.
Well, let's see. Well, before we jump the gun on it.
Okay, well, I'm saying, I mean, I'm the pettiest one that's at this panel right now. Super petty.
Yeah.
It's been in quite a few drama-fied moments in my life. And I can just tell you, it's not.
I think you do have to consider the source.
Yeah, you do.
If it's coming from somebody that is about team,
it is. But
you may not have liked it, but you can get over it.
But let's keep it a beat. Brandon's not playing right now, and you know just as well.
He's
as
around
I do.
the team.
Yeah, but it's different. You're
right.
It's different when you're actually playing. Like, for example, say if the year that I played in the locker room, I knew I was hurt and I wasn't playing that great. So it's one of those things where you're respected, but you're not respected the same way you are as somebody who's playing.
Yes.
You know
of course,
what I mean?
Yes.
And when you have somebody that's not playing say something that you feel, and I'm not saying it is, but when you feel it's being divisive, you feel like, oh, well, why are you trying to play me? Why saying this, that, and the third?
Sure.
So that's probably where the issue is going to lie.
So, yeah, look, Hugh, I think it's a good point. Obviously, we'll see and we'll hear how AJ and Jalen respond to it this week, and Nick and other team captains.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I would say that if we're going to talk about like why he felt the need to say it, I think one benefit of Brandon coming to Chickies and Pete's every hour for like 10 years is we can sit here and say we know Brandon well, right?
Yeah.
Like we don't know.
And we know where he's coming.
We don't know Jalen and
we know
AJ,
what place
right?
Brandon's coming from.
Exactly. So in my opinion, he did it in this form because he felt this is how it had to be done. So I understand what you're saying, Hugh, about how we'll see how it plays. But clearly, in my opinion, this is something that he felt was a problem, and at this point was maybe the only way to fix it.
And I'll say another thing. I just feel like we got, 4 games left, correct?
Yeah.
And we're still trying to figure out offensively, like we're trying to work this path. I feel like probably not the greatest timing.
Well, but unless he feels it has to happen now. And that's kind of my initial takeaway is, and I think it was noteworthy, he said this a bunch of times, like they're a special team that he thinks can win something, and he feels this needs to be solved in order for them to do that.
You know what the unfortunate thing about that, I get that, and I understand that. All of that's going to be lost. Well, in my opinion.
Let me I agree with you, yeah.
In my opinion, because I'm projecting. I'll admit, and I
I'm just saying, they as teammates, like Brandon's not running anywhere. If he needs to clear something up with somebody,
he's right there.
He'll be able to talk right there in the locker room, in the building, to get it resolved.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
But you know just as well as I do how these things go. This is gonna be secondhand. Dog. You heard what so and so said and stuff like that. So yes, it's.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. The source is right there. So if it needs to be addressed, it can be addressed. As men, you sit down and you address it.
Well, and also, like, if we take the Brandon Graham thing out of this, let's talk about what he said. Which is,
I agree.
Jalen and AJ don't seem to be getting along.
Right.
And this is the second year in a row where a talented team with a great record that has a chance to do something special could potentially not reach their full potential because of off-the-field stuff.
Yeah.
And that, I think, is, in my opinion, the frustration I heard from BG. And for as much as we want to talk about the messenger, in my opinion, that should be the frustration from the fans, that this team is talented. They are good enough to win it all. AJ is one of the best receivers in the league. Jalen has put together a great resume. And it feels like they're going to go off the tracks because of something. Like we spent all day talking about the passing game. That feels like nothing right now, right? So, like the talent,
I wish that's all we were talking about.
The talent on the team is good enough to win it all. It's about whether or not off the field they can keep it together, and that's not something we thought we'd be asking a second year in a row.
Can this be resolved? Right? Like can this be resolved? Right? Can you sit down and how do you resolve it? Is it you just get AJ the ball more? Like, is that what the issue is?
Yes.
I don't know.
This
sounds deeper than the amount of targets he's getting.
Well, I'll tell you this. As the resident petty individual, it's at this point, it's about respect. Because it feels like somebody feels like they're not being respected in what they bring to the table.
Well, what I do think these comments will do is they will be forced to face it head on.
Yeah, now you got no choice.
Either this will fracture Jalen and AJ more, or maybe this finally is the thing that gets them to sit down and make up. Like, obviously, we don't know why they're mad at each other, but it's no longer a secret, and it is something that every player in the locker room is going to be asked about all week. Nick will be asked about it. Jalen will be asked about it. AJ, Devontae. And so this is going to force them to face it head on.
Let me tell you, man, this is the last thing this Eagle fan base want to hear right now is this nonsense. And this team is 11-2, coming off of what we had to deal with last year at the end of the season. This is the last thing this fan base wants to hear. I'm not saying
I agree with you,
right, but I can only imagine Eagles fans out there right now listening to this and listening to us and the empty feeling they must have in their stomach. Of
Like,
thinking,
why are we doing this again?
Yeah, like, are we really doing this again this year?
And what's so crazy is they didn't play that bad yesterday. I listened to the station all day. I was pretty surprised. Like, Jalen didn't turn the ball over. He made big plays on third down.
Yeah.
Like, the defense only gave up 16 points. And I know that drop pass obviously is part of that.
Yeah.
But,
It was the Carolina Panthers, dog.
No,
That's what it was.
I agree, but I'm saying they've played well enough all year where one game where they don't look great should not result in this type of reaction. And I'm not even talking about the BG.
This is what happens when expectations raise. Like when you're a story that our expectations are sort of they're realistic expectations. No one's talking about the Super Bowl, and you had this type of game. That's one thing. But once you start expecting perfection and blowouts against inferior opponents, this is what happens.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, they didn't lose the game, but a lot of people felt like that was a game they could have very easily lost.
No, I agree for sure. That's a game they could have lost. Absolutely. It's funny. Me and you argued on the pregame show about a C- game.
Right.
Like that's probably what they
That's
played
pretty
right
much what
around
they
there,
played,
right? And they should have lost. So you were
Yeah.
right that they probably weren't going to win that game 10 out of 10 times with that type of performance. But regardless, what I'm saying is the reason it feels like last year is I remember being in the locker room after wins when they were 10-1, and the feeling was always we're not playing well enough. We're not playing well enough. And I don't think it's a coincidence. Nick's message to the team after the game yesterday was you have to enjoy the win. This team is talented enough to win. But if they're not going to be happy through this process, then they're not going to win anything just like they did last year.
But here's the thing, though, and here's where only they know. And maybe BG pulled the curtain back for us to see a little bit of what was really going on, because this isn't a majority of the team thing. This seems like it's isolated to 2, maybe 3 people.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know where Smitty falls in all this.
I'd imagine
he's another wide out. Yeah, he's a wide out. So I don't know.
He's trying to take the high ground.
My only thing is that last year it felt like it was more than that. It was other coaches. I don't like this coach. That's not what's going on with this football team. This football team has enjoyed playing for Nick Sirianni this year. He pretty much has them going in the right direction. I'm wondering if this perceived issue here with the QB and the wide receiver is impacting everything else on the offensive side of the ball right now. Like, that's what I'm wondering.
I don't see how it can't.
Well, you know it is.
But when we talked about Nick and Jalen, we were like, you guys can't, like, the team can't win with the head coach and quarterback not getting along. I think it's the same for a quarterback and the wide receiver.
It puts people in silos, and it forces you to pick sides.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate because, like I said, man, this is a special squad. And to have this happen, this is the absolute worst time that you could have this happen.
Well, and the saddest part about all this, too, is remember when they traded for AJ? That video of him and Jalen celebrating, like laughing about how excited they were. They sold shirts the first year where they together, like with them on it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure that, it's just sad that they were clearly very good friends at one point, and they talked openly about that. And so it's just sad it's gotten to this point between those two that were friends and accomplished so much in their first year together.
Dude, we got to have this combination here for the next half a decade.
Maybe.
Right. At this rate, it can't be.
No, agreed.
I mean, because especially if this is what derails the season.
Well, and the interesting thing about what BG said was that Jalen is trying.
Right.
That was noteworthy to me, too, because
and listening to BG, it certainly sounded as if he felt Jalen, not that Jalen is blameless in the struggles or what have you, but he felt Jalen gets too much criticism, and that Jalen is trying to, whether it's mend fences, get on the same page, playing as hard as he can. It almost seems as if that's where he's at, but he's looking at it like, okay, I understand what 11 means to the team as well, but we can't all just pin everything on the quarterback.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. He said that Jalen is, looked at as kind of quiet, not really talkative.
Yeah.
And it sounds like behind the scenes, that's not been the case.
Yeah. It's just, again, I go back to the timing of all of this and it happening Pittsburgh week, because we got Pittsburgh coming up and we're still in the midst of trying to get this number 1 seed. I I guess my question now is, can this fence be mended in 5 days?
I mean, look, I don't think so.
Well, it depends. Is it, well, here's my thing. I don't know. Is it something that pertains to off the field? Like, is it just about football? If it's just about him getting the football and getting it to the open man, yeah, that could be mended.
Well, I think
see, that could be mended.
See, we're speaking from this perspective as older, mature gentlemen.
Yeah.
I think it's a little different now.
Well,
I think a lot of times that, especially now, since it is where it is, and it's been festering for as long as it's been festering, that it's going to probably take a little bit more than just a couple touches or a couple touchdowns.
I don't know if that's all that makes guys happy.
Well,
I mean, unless something else is going on there, I mean, that we don't know about.
It has to be something else.
I don't know of personal stuff that's going on. I'm looking at it from a football standpoint.
Look, AJ, maybe it'll come out. AJ's going to talk, and at this point, we'll see how he handles it. But I would just say, like, Jalen is playing the best he can. If the issue is targets, well, then I don't think after a year and a half of this being the issue that, like, that's going to fix itself before Sunday.
But he gets more targets than anybody else.
Look,
it's not as if somebody else is getting more targets than him.
I agree with you, but obviously there is an issue, and it's hard to imagine something that seems this serious could be fixed before Sunday.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm sure Landon Dickerson is excited about joining us here after the segment to talk more about this. We'll see what the big fella has to say. Eagles All-Pro left guard will be joining us when we come back after the break. Landon Dickerson is in the house. He'll be in the Players Lounge right after this break.
The NFL plays on Sports Radio 94 WIP. Tonight, the Cowboys welcome the Cincinnati Bengals. Coverage starts at 7:30. Touchdown! Your home for the Eagles and the NFL on Westwood One.
Time to go out there and handle business, man.
Sports Radio 94 WIP.
Know what's below, because even minor excavation projects like installing a mailbox, building a patio, or putting up a fence can do major damage. Contact 811 before you dig, or visit pa1call.org to submit a locate request to have underground utilities marked.
Get more out of your vacation with Norwegian Cruise Line, where you have more to see, more to do, and more to enjoy. Book today and get free second guest, plus unlimited open bar and more with Norwegian's all-new More at Sea package. Visit ncl.com, call your travel advisor, or 1-888-NCL-CRUISE. Offer ends soon. Norwegian Cruise Line. Ships registry the Bahamas and USA. Restrictions apply.
It's here. B101 has transformed into Philly's official Christmas station. Relax and unwind with your holiday favorites 24 hours a day, all the way through Christmas. Tell your smart speaker to play B101.
Let's talk about the holiday gift she really needs this year. Not a new household appliance, not another gift certificate. What she really needs is at Benari Jewelers. Things that she can wear every day to the grocery store and gym, date nights, and special occasions. Tennis bracelets, diamond stud earrings, colored gemstones set, and a stunning pendant. All under one roof. Benari Jewelers, the area's largest selection and latest designs from the world's premier designers. 2 locations, Exton and Newtown Square. Online at BenariJewelers.com.
As a bank, PNC prides themselves on being boring. But the truth is, they couldn't be more excited to serve the dynamic greater Philadelphia community. For nearly 160 years, they've quietly toiled away to deliver brilliant results for their equally brilliant clients. PNC has dedicated teams throughout the local area, all ready to do the boring work to help you unlock your own brilliance. PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
Here's what's happening at Borgata. Don't miss out on the action at Borgata's Poker Room, where great cards, lucky seats, and high hands bring excitement to every player. Open 7 days a week. Excitement is waiting. You're only miles away from your happy place. Experience award-winning restaurants, exciting bars and live music, big-name entertainment, and a spacious casino filled with your favorite slots and table games. The action at Borgata Hotel, Casino, and Spa doesn't stop. Start planning your getaway today.
Visit theborgata.com for more details. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. The Piazza Auto Group is proud to have served as the halftime sponsor of the Eagles radio network for over 20 years. As we hope for another championship, it's the perfect time to drive home in the new or certified pre-owned vehicle you've been wanting. The Piazza Auto Group features 18 brands, including Honda, Acura, Mazda, Hyundai, Genesis, Mini, Nissan, Subaru, and Volkswagen. To find the location nearest you or to shop their extensive inventory, visit PiazzaAutoGroup.com. It's Joe Conklin with the City Rhythm Orchestra at Westchester University and Pittman, New Jersey in February.
It was fabulous. It was the most joyful night I have experienced in a long time.
The Frank Sinatra guy, I really liked him.
His imitation of the Bee Gees.
That's Conklin with City Rhythm and the story of Philly sports through music. Westchester University on February 21st and the Broadway Theater in Pittman, New Jersey on February 22nd. Tickets to a Conklin show make great holiday gifts. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com. JoeConklin.com!
How do you spot the all-new Nissan Rogue Rock Creek? Here's a hint. It's got all-terrain tires, a tubular roof rack you can't miss, and it's tough inside and out with lava red detail. You'll also find it in its natural habitat, climbing mountains, attacking rugged trails, and never backing down from any adventure. The first ever Nissan Rogue Rock Creek.
Intelligent all-wheel drive cannot prevent collisions or provide enhanced traction in all conditions. Always monitor traffic and weather conditions. Always secure cargo. Heavy loading of the vehicle with cargo, especially on the roof, will affect the handling and stability of the vehicle.
You okay?
I can't sleep with this cough.
Sounds like you need to vaporize that cold.
Vaporize?
Yeah, with NyQuil VapoCool. It's NyQuil plus a rush of Vicks vapors.
Whoa.
So you ready to get some sleep? Thank you, NyQuil VapoCool.
NyQuil VapoCool, the vaporizing nighttime coughing, aching, fever, best sleep with a cold medicine. And to vaporize sore throat pain, try Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Back to the Players Lounge. Sports Radio 94 WIP.
Go! All right, my DJ was a little slow over here, but we're back on track. Welcome back to Sports Radio 94 WIP. Hey, like that. That's a little groove move right there for you, Hugh Douglas. It is the Chickies and Peaks Players Lounge. What song was that, Hugh?
I know that song.
I can't remember who's singing.
What you got, Eliot?
It's Work Out for Me.
J. Cole?
Work Out.
That J. Cole?
Yeah, J. Cole.
Come on. Look, J. Cole.
Yeah, I don't really too much listen to J. Cole. That ain't
don't be hating on J. Cole.
No, I'm more, I listen to 8-Ball.
We can listen to
it. That's my jam, right? MJG. You know what I mean? I'm still rocking 8-Ball MJG.
I remember you used to play that in practice, man, in the locker room and stuff. I do. You got me, yeah. 8-Ball MJG. Well, Landon Dickerson is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Before we hear from Landon, he has to get his customary victory! Okay.
Here we go. All
right, now we got that out of the way, LD. 9th straight win, 11-2. Listen, Carolina, one of those games, but this is the way I looked at last week. You can tell yourself we're respecting our opponent and we're not overlooking anybody. And I don't believe you guys overlook them. But it's almost human nature when these games pop up that those type of games will happen. But you got out of there with the W, sitting at 11-2, and that's what's most important. Just your thoughts on yesterday's game.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not going to sit here and make excuses. I mean, we all kind of saw it yesterday. We did not play our best football, right? But I think another thing we can understand is going back and watching Carolina for the last 5 weeks, they have been a good team, right? Yep. It is the NFL, and again, I'm not trying to make excuses, but I mean, the Panthers have been playing really good football lately, and we weren't playing our best football. And you're not going to play your best game every single week. So, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, everybody watching, everybody listening, saw what was going on Sunday, but that's part of this game is we got to evaluate and fix things. And it's in the past now. We really don't care about this game Sunday other than evaluating it. But now we're on to the Steelers and worrying about the next game and making sure that we're getting better from the mistakes we made then.
As far as in the secondary, what were they doing to try to kind of because Jalen was holding the ball just a little bit long. Yeah. So what can you tell me about what potentially they were doing in the secondary that he had to hold the ball as long as he held?
I'll try not to get too complicated with it. For you guys, defensive guys that know stuff, a lot of 99, 33, started doing some bracketing stuff, cover 8.
That's what I thought.
Bracketing, you talking about like running with it? Like
so to explain to everybody else, there's like man coverage and zone coverage. So man coverage is usually just like one guy for one guy, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna follow that guy. He goes to the bathroom to take a shit. You go wipe his butt. That's kind of
dump that.
Right. So sorry about that.
No, you're good. You're amongst family. We got you.
Okay. Zone coverage, and everybody's kind of got a little area, right? It's like you got this zone. So they were just kind of throwing in some different coverages for us that we weren't really expecting that they did a whole lot of. And a lot of those times it's, you get used to doing some. And as a quarterback, right, I don't really know how to go through his read progression and tell him what he's
because it's
supposed to
different
do.
for everybody. Yeah.
But a lot of the times too is like you start having better players, guys, you might get into double coverage on guys, or you might be trying to force a throw to another receiver, like, making sure that AJ's not going to be open or Smitty's not going to be open. So now he's got to get to, maybe his third or fourth check down there. So just some different stuff to kind of, mess with, the eyes of guys on offense and make it more difficult.
We've talked every time you've been here, but also when Jordan Mailata is here, about how one of the reasons the offense starts slow is kind of what you just said, that each week you guys get unscouted looks that you're not expecting. How do you go about trying to still have successful early drives while also expecting unscouted looks? Like, do you guys have a strategy in terms of trying to correct that? Because it does seem like it's something every week with unscouted looks that's happening.
Yeah, and it's a tough thing because it's time management when it comes down to it. You have a limited amount of practice time, limited amount of reps. And if you try and sit there and go over every single thing this team has, the defense are going to play different. We're, week 14 now. Right. If you go over what this defense has done for 14 games and try and be like, hey, there's, 100 different looks we might get,
right,
you don't really have time to do it. There's not enough time in the day to do that. So, I mean, for us, what it comes down to is that we just got to get back to saying it's almost like it doesn't matter what defense you're putting out there. Let's just have some plays that, we know that we're good at, that it doesn't matter who you put out there, what defense it is, that we can execute. It may not be a 60-yard bomb. It may not be, a 25-yard run, but, it might be able to get 4 or 5 yards and be able to keep that ball moving early.
I wonder how much of yesterday's game plan going into the game was you guys, we know you're going to run the football, right? We know that's the bread and butter. You guys going to run the football. But I would imagine as an offense, you want to continue to grow as an offense. So I guess getting better in your passing game, explosives down the field through the passing game, that is always the intent coming into a game. How much of that yesterday was sort of being implemented, particularly early, where it seemed like you guys wanted to throw the ball, at least try to get your passing game going?
Yeah, and a lot of it, honestly, it's getting in a rhythm. So, speaking from offensive line perspective, it might take us a little bit to get in a rhythm with how a defensive line or a defense is playing against us. Same thing with a quarterback is, once you get guys in a rhythm, and it's just like that with the other sports, basketball, baseball, hockey. Once someone's feeling kind of hot, they start doing a little better, and they feel more comfortable sitting back there, throwing the ball, reading out the defenses, making maybe some more difficult throws or contested catches. But for us, it's really sitting down and figuring out what's going to click today and what's going to win the game.
What's that sideline been like during those frustrating times, for lack of a better way for me to sort of term it, early in the game when the offense isn't necessarily clicking the way you want it? I'm wondering, what's the sideline like over there from a morale standpoint?
Yeah, it's not. I mean, there is frustration, right, coming to the sideline, but it's almost like constructive frustration because we're coming to the sideline. We're all kind of coming together, whether it's, offensive line talking to tight ends or wide receivers or running backs and saying, it's like, dang, we couldn't get this drive going. What are you guys seeing? What do you want to get to, like, position group wise? Maybe tight ends and running backs see something a little different than the offensive line or the receivers and quarterback. And it's like, it's kind of, we're sitting there talking with, coaches, coordinators, as players together. And we're trying to figure it out too. Cause it's not like we want to go out there and say, yeah, we don't really want to have good drives and score in the first quarter. It's like, we're putting it out there. We're frustrated too, but we come back and we don't just sit there and pout about it. We're looking for answers.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you guys have been, I think this year better than any year I can think, because the year you guys went to the Super Bowl, not saying that there weren't times where you had to make adjustments in game. It just seems like you guys dominated so many of those teams in 2022, with the exception of maybe the Indianapolis Colts games I can think of off the top of my head. I feel like this year you guys have made more in-game adjustments, and where you guys have gotten stronger and better as the game has gone along. So it's not as if you guys aren't going to the sideline, talking things out and figuring things out.
Oh yeah, we're not going over there and just sitting there twiddling our thumbs, going maybe we'll get them next time. I mean, it's it's kind of all hands on deck. We come over and our defense, shout out to them. They've been playing lights out these past 10 weeks.
Yeah.
And for us, sometimes we don't know if it's going to be a quick turn. Sometimes you may go out there and you may only have 3 plays, and then the next team's punting. So you got maybe it's a minute and a half, 2 minutes to figure out like what plays are we getting to, what do we like to do here, what can we expect, what was defense presented us, what can we kind of expect this drive. So a lot of times it's just all hands on deck, like let's try and get something going.
It's funny because if the reverse was happening and you guys were scoring on the first drive but then could never adjust, that's probably a worse outcome than this right here. So
sure.
yeah, so ultimately I think the problem is is going to be okay. But I was surprised in the locker room afterwards at just the level of frustration it felt like from at least offensive players that I talked to and that did speak to the media. So outside of just the opening drive, how are you guys feeling right now about how the offense is operating? And clearly running the ball is working really well. You set a franchise record yesterday. But in terms of how the offense is operating from a passing standpoint, like where are you at with that?
Yeah, so I mean, my thing is like I know people are frustrated, and not only players in the locker room, but like mainly speaking from a fan perspective of how we played Sunday. And we're frustrated too. And a lot of the times the frustration doesn't come from an individual or like a me first mentality. We understand how good we can be with the players we have, with the coaches and personnel that we have, and we all have almost a level of expectation of how we can go out there on Sundays and play football. And when you don't do that, you have an expectation. We know we can do this. And when you go out there and don't do it, it's frustrating for a lot of guys.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not really, I don't think there's one selfish dude in that locker room. I think what it comes down to is we know what we can be and what we can put out on the film and what we can do on Sundays. And we just didn't go out there and do it. And we can sit around and say, that's not the kind of team we are. But at the end of the day, we put that on film, and it's frustrating. And now we got to go back, evaluate, and fix it.
So when you talk about evaluating, how soon is it today is when you watch the evaluation film?
So
when you go out and figure it out?
So we've already watched everything. Sometimes if it's an early 1 o'clock game, you may even have kind of corrections and stuff out by that evening. So, a lot of times we're going in Monday morning ready. Most of us have already watched the game and we know what has happened. So a lot of times it's going in, reviewing, and talking through coaches of like, we know we made an error here, so we'll put it up on the screen and talk through. It's like, what were you seeing right here? What are the thoughts here? Why'd you do this? And that's really, we want to get that in and out as quick as possible because, and it may be as simple as, maybe a guy heard the wrong thing or maybe, just something little. But as soon as you get to know what you did wrong there, that's one thing that we have on the list to fix. It's like, we come back Tuesday and Wednesday, like that's on the list of things we got to fix.
I know like obviously communication is different with what Jalen is telling AJ versus maybe what he's telling the offensive lineman versus all that. But a few players did say being on the same page is kind of an issue. I think Jalen used the word synchronization.
Synchronization.
Yeah, which I'm happy I pronounced that correctly. Yeah. But like from your perspective, obviously post-snap is different, but pre-snap, do you feel like communication in the passing game has been an issue?
So passing game, right? I can't really communicate. Like if we're talking route concepts and all that stuff, that's not really my specialty there. I don't.
You don't know about the 3-level sail with the 7 route.
If you want to get the 3-level stretch right there with the deep ball, we could talk about scheme if you want, but I don't. I don't like to involve myself in that because they don't send me out there to catch balls.
Maybe they could. Who knows?
But yeah, the key thing with football is it takes all 11 guys, right? And that's the beauty of the sport is that, there's some things like, love basketball. It's a great sport, great athletes. You can go out there with one dominant player and he can carry that team. with football, it's extremely hard to do that. You have to have all 11 guys. If 10 guys do the right thing and one guy does the wrong thing, it may be a TFL, sack,
right?
Interception, whatever it may be. So that's the beautiful thing about football is it takes all 11 guys. And if you have one guy that gets miscommunicated, didn't hear the play call all the way, didn't hear the check on it, or anything like that, bad things are going to happen.
Let me ask you, there's an elephant in the room right now, right? About the relationship between the quarterback and the wide receiver and whether or not everybody's on the same page and whether or not – here's the thing. There's a fear that what happened last year at the end of the year is simmering beneath the surface. We got you here to be able to talk about that side of the football, and I'm just wondering from your perspective, how has that relationship been from your view, from your eyes?
And I mean, I understand. I kind of heard it a little earlier when we were talking.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. You already got burned by the stove once, you know what I mean? And it's kind of like you get that same feeling. I don't believe that we're anywhere close to that or anything. Again, media is great, but at the same time, it's their job to have a dramatic story. That's what sells. So no offense to you guys, but
none taken.
I mean,
None taken, bro.
Especially, AJ, I know he kind of gave that one word answer in the interview. One word is very ambiguous and leads to a lot of assumptions and conclusions from people. So, AJ, I think is a great dude. I don't think he's got a selfish bone in his body. I think also he just understands the type of team and the caliber of team we can be out there on Sundays and what we should be able to do. And it's frustrating when you go out there and you're not able to do it.
So I thought it was interesting after the game, Nick's message, or at least what we saw. So correct me if it was a larger message, but basically saying you guys, enjoy the wins, right? Like it's hard to win in the NFL. You won the game and enjoy it. I'm just curious, are you guys like having fun right now? I know that's a simplistic question.
Feel like it,
like
having fun?
Yeah.
I really hate losing, so winning is fun to me.
Well, that's what I'm asking because
that's the bottom line.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's all that
at
matters.
the end of the day, I mean, it may be ugly. It may not be a 45-0 blowout.
Yeah.
But winning's fun and losing sucks, and I don't like to do that.
Well, you guys don't do it much. So.
No, you don't lose very often around here. Hold on, real quick. What we got a break to go to, Hugh. We got to pay some bills. We'll get to it when we come back on the other side. You got the first question coming up, big dog.
I forgot.
No, write it down. Write it down. Don't forget
Don't
it.
let the CTE kick in.
We'll get to
It's too early.
Exactly. So, and sometimes we got to worry about that. For real,
get AB on here.
Yeah,
that's why I'm here. Yeah.
We'll be back with more Chickies and Pete's. It's the Players Lounge right here on 94 WIP.
I'm Chris Rose with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. Sam Darnold threw 5 touchdown passes. Vikings double up the Falcons 42-21 to spoil Kirk Cousins' return to the Twin Cities. Josh Allen threw 3 scores, ran for 3 more, but it wasn't enough. Rams topped the Bills 44-42 in a shootout. Tua threw a game-winning touchdown to Jonnu Smith in overtime as the Dolphins topped the Jets 32-26. Baker Mayfield threw for 3 touchdowns. Bucks beat the Raiders 28-13. Russell Wilson threw 2 touchdowns. Steelers topped the Browns 27-14. Jalen Hurts threw 2 scores, ran for another. Eagles held off the Panthers 22-16. Philadelphia clinches a playoff berth. Seahawks topped the Cards 30-18. Niners beat the Bears 38-13. And on Sunday Night Football, the Chiefs beat the Chargers by 2 points on a Matthew Wright game-winning field goal to clinch the AFC West for a 9th straight season. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
New holiday deals just dropped at Lowe's. Get up to 30% off select major appliances, plus an additional $75 off for every $1,000 you spend on select kitchen major appliances from brands like Whirlpool, KitchenAid, Amana, and Maytag. And don't miss big savings on DeWalt. Save $80 on a DeWalt 20-volt Max 2-tool combo kit. Was $229, now just $149. Lowe's knows deals. Offers valid 12/5 through 12/11. Cannot be combined with additional discounts. See Lowe's.com for details and qualifying items. While supplies last.
The current federal government is actually going $1 trillion deeper in debt every 100 days. That's why thousands are turning to Goldco, a top-rated gold company, to diversify their savings with time-tested safe haven assets, physical gold and silver. Right now, not only is Goldco offering a free gold and silver kit, but on qualified purchases, they'll give you up to a 10% instant match in bonus silver. Call 855-838-GOLD. That's 855-838-GOLD. Performance may vary. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
Where will Jalen look this year? Left, right, over the middle? He's a smart guy. He'll be looking for the Deborah Heart and Lung Center Red Zone, and with good reason. Like the Birds, Deborah has raised the bar on cardiac excellence by being named a high-performing hospital by U.S. News and World Report. And our alliance with Cleveland Clinic Heart, Vascular, and Thoracic Institute means that our patients get the highest quality of care that they deserve. After all, when it's your heart, your red zone, you don't take chances. DemandDeborah.org.
Reed Blankenship from the Philadelphia Eagles here. Technology has made a huge difference for our team. It's also made a huge difference for my other favorite team, Dudette Dental Group, official dentist of the Eagles. Dudette Dental Group has the most advanced technology, like the Yomi, a robot-assisted implant machine that creates precise placement of your implant, or the Ray Phase, a 3D scanner of your face to help you create the smile you want. Smile like the birds. Visit Dudette Dental Group at PhiladelphiaEaglesDentist.com.
Xfinity here. How can we help?
Hi, my entire family's obsessed with all things Wicked, but my kids can't stop watching the trailer, and now they're having a Wicked-themed sleepover. Do you think our internet can handle all of the streaming and memeing going on?
Well, we've engineered our Xfinity gateways to handle hundreds of devices at once, so they can all stay magically connected.
Wow. Are you a wizard?
I wish. No, just someone that won't let a bad connection burst your internet bubble.
Now through December 22nd, get Thrillifyingly fast 300 megabit Xfinity internet with unlimited data and one unlimited mobile line together for $30 a month for 12 months with no annual contract. Go to Xfinity.com to learn more and keep the magic going from your screen to the big screen and see Wicked in theaters now. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless plan and auto-pay stored bank account. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Xfinity Mobile requires Xfinity Internet. Actual internet speeds vary and not guaranteed.
The best holiday plans come from the back seat.
I want a hot chocolate. I want to go sledding. Mom, play our holiday playlist. Yeah, play
it. Enjoy safe family trips this season. Sign and drive on select Volvo SUVs during the Holiday Safely Sales event.
Why pay more for prescriptions? Stop overpaying and start saving with SingleCare. It's easy. Find your prescription on singlecare.com, show the coupon at the pharmacy, and start saving. SingleCare works at pharmacies nationwide and is completely free to use, whether you have insurance or not. So the next time you fill a prescription, check SingleCare to make sure you're getting the best price. Take control of your prescription costs. Go to singlecare.com or download the free app today.
Back to the Players Lounge on your home for Eagles football. Sports Radio 94 WIP.
Come back hot. Explosive.
Now that's Dr. Dre.
Okay, we got that. Chronic 2001. Welcome back, Sports Radio 94 WIP. This is the Chickies and Pete's Players Lounge. We're honored to have Eagles All-Pro, right? All-Pro Pro Bowl guard. Landon Dickerson is in the building with us tonight. 11-2 Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, let's face it. Listen, we're doing a lot of I don't know, soap opera. No, I mean, you know, like
tiptoeing.
No, we're not tiptoeing. We talked about it, and it's going to be continued to be talked about. But it is an 11-2 football team.
Yeah,
it's dramatized.
Yeah,
dramatized. Reality TV.
I like dramatized.
Real Housewives.
Yeah,
I will say the last
11-2 football team.
Yes, it is.
The last time there was
Pittsburgh Steelers too, by the way.
Last time there was this much drama between a quarterback and a receiver, I'm pretty sure the Eagles went to the Super Bowl, right?
No, it was.
Wasn't that 04?
Well, it was after. The drama came after.
No, but they had that blow up on the sideline. And
no, he's right. Yeah, he's right.
Oh no, that's right. Because he told him. I remember now.
And then they joked about it against the Steelers, if I'm not mistaken.
No,
it happened.
It happened during the Steelers. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember now.
And then the next week, they like pretended on the sideline.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they were
maybe
arguing.
Maybe this is a good sign.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Do you feel, Landon, overall, like we worry about the culture in the locker room? You don't feel like there's any issues with as far as it being a good culture, all the players seemingly on the same page?
I have no issues or no qualms or any questions about that whatsoever. I mean, for the past 12 weeks, we didn't have any questions about it. And
I completely agree.
And you got one low instance, and I mean,
but it only takes one.
And that's what it is. But at the end of the day, family fights, right? You got brothers, cousins, anything else. If you ain't fought them, you really ain't that close. So,
right.
There's going to be some tough love at times and some frustration, but at the end of the day, we all got the same goal to be in New Orleans.
So we talk about the passing game, right? That's the one word that AJ gave yesterday, right? If he was asked, is there an area that needs to improve with the offense or whatever? I'm paraphrasing. He said the passing, or is it some area?
He said, I don't think you can paraphrase it much more.
Right? He said passing.
It was one word, yeah.
I wonder how much you guys as an offense think about the passing game and where it's at right now.
Yeah, like I said earlier, like what we put out on the field Sunday was not our best ball. We have a lot of things to work on. But I think the thing is, we've seen AJ, Devontae Smith, Jahan Dotson, Dallas Goedert, Grant Calcaterra, Jalen Hurts have great games passing, and everybody kind of takes their turn. It's not just a one pony show around here. We got a lot of really good players, and we're not going to be putting up 900 yards of offense a game. Not everybody can have 250 receiving and 200 rushing yards and 83 attempts. You just can't spread the ball out like that. So. And at the end of the day, I don't think there's any personal anything. It's not, feelings hurt or whatever. We just understand that, we got a lot of good players, and it's frustrating when you don't go out there with a lot of good players and do a really good job.
So you mentioned it's not a one pony show, but the running back has been pretty good this year, along with you guys.
That's a good show, pony.
Yeah, it's a pretty
he's
I would
special.
say so. It's a stallion. It seems like, but my bad. But the franchise rushing record yesterday.
Oh yeah, congratulations!
Yeah,
on that, big dog.
Yeah, I feel it's worth asking you about that. What does that mean to be a part of that? I know obviously Saquon's name is the one that does it, but you guys play a massive part in making that happen. You'll always be a part of the running game that did that. What did it feel like to do that?
It felt good. Honestly, 2105 is.
That's what you're shooting for?
That's.
Ooh, talk to me.
That's really. So wait a minute. So that's a personal thing. That's a long way away. But
but
that's
not that. It's not that long away.
That far.
You start seeing it and you realize like he's got the ability, he's got the talent to be able to do this, and I would love to help a guy like that, become a part of history. I think Saquon is a great football player, a great athlete, but he's also a great dude off the field, and being able to get that honor for him and have him break the record it means a lot to offensive linemen because we don't get much. We don't in the terms.
I was about to ask you.
I'm glad you said it, damn it.
Yeah,
I'm glad you said it. Embrace it. I'm glad you guys have embraced it and you want it. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. The only stats that offensive linemen really have are sacks, pressures, hurries, and holdings.
When you give them up.
Negative stats.
You don't have a positive stat. So anytime we get an opportunity to say, we got to be a part of something, our name it's not going to be, Saquon Barkley and company on the, records, but we know that we were kind of a part of that, and it feels nice.
So you want to go for it. Like you guys have this as a goal, like we can accomplish this together.
We really haven't talked about it like that, but I just kind of see the numbers and I'm like, hell yeah.
Yeah, you look at the math, and the math is already mad. Because how many does he need? Like 500?
No, less than that. Like
400.
430 something.
430. Yeah, that's not bad.
What is that in 3 games?
Yeah,
4 games.
That's what I said.
Games.
Well, yeah, 4 games. Well, you said 3. Me and him on the same page because I said
16,
get it done.
16 games.
Yeah, get it done in 16.
Oh yeah, it's a good point.
Okay.
What didn't Barry Sanders do it in 15? So there's asterisks besides Eric Dickerson.
Yeah.
So it's like,
OJ did it.
Do you go for the other? Like that's the question is, does the asterisk matter? I know the debate is 16 versus 17 games.
I think if you set the record, it is because didn't OJ do it in 14? Like ultimately the games are always added on.
Yeah.
I feel like you'll probably be passing it quite a bit next game anyway.
Yeah,
the only one gets an asterisk.
Only
one gets an asterisk is LeBron with that phony bubble championship.
No, that bubble championship legit.
No, that's an asterisk.
I mean,
you did mention Saquon, someone you guys want to do this for, and it does seem like the locker room really has embraced him. You guys got those pictures of him out in the back of the locker room, with the tape underneath with the names. Like,
the joke I did?
Yeah, I was about to say you did that, right? So
yeah.
what was that story about? Yeah.
Did I cause some shit?
You caused some drama.
Dump that one too.
I think you're second today for sure.
Let me explain this real easy,
Yeah.
right? So this is something cool that Coach Sirianni does a lot of times is the guy that has a really good game or makes a really big play in a game. They'll grab a photo from whoever the photographers are that gets posted on social media, but he'll have it framed out for the guy. And Saquon has 12 of these things. They're just sitting collecting dust in his locker. And then I think he ran out of room, so he left a couple of them over near the offensive line. And I was like, I'm not going to take a picture of Saquon Barkley home that has his name on it and put it in my house. So I was like, you know what? I was like, we had some little command hooks or whatever it was just sitting up there. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to throw this on the wall as a joke and see if he thinks it's funny.
And did he? I'm assuming he did.
Yeah,
I mean,
he did. It was funny. We
Media
were going to do a whole little candle thing. And
You mean a candlelight vigil or something like that?
do a
That would have been awesome.
Probably that's a little fire hazard.
Well,
Nick
Foles got one of those and he won the Super Bowl. So
yeah. I mean, honestly, it was just a joke. It's more just we got these things sitting on the floor, and I'm tired of kicking them every time I get dressed, so I'm just hanging them up on the wall.
It does seem like the locker room's really embraced him, though. For being a new player.
Absolutely. I mean, it's not just what he does, on the field, but also just how he is off the field. I mean, he's, just a great dude overall.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I think the whole idea of being a Russian champion and in the MVP conversation, I think it's a huge testament. And for a running back, it's certainly a team thing because it takes everybody. It takes you guys up front. We talked about the receivers having the block as well. So, listen, we're all here certainly rooting for that to happen. A couple things. He's already set the single-season record for the Eagles. Certainly want to see him get over 2K so he can join that 2,000 club. And then that Russian Russian record at the end, 21:05, would certainly be great. Pittsburgh up next. Out of conference opponent, but a very big test and a good opponent for you guys.
Yeah, honestly, a great opponent. Coach Tomlin. I don't know the last time he's had a losing season.
I don't think he's never had one.
Never.
Yeah,
never. Okay.
He's never had one.
Yeah, so as we said, never a losing season. Honestly, a phenomenal coach, has a very well coached defense, and I really look forward to that challenge because. It's
so you get big Casey Hayward in the inside. Who's on the inside?
Cam Hayward.
Cam Hayward.
Yeah,
Cam still.
Yeah,
Cam Hayward still getting it.
Yeah, he's still.
Yep.
You see a little bit of TJ. Does TJ ever line up inside?
Maybe on third down, very limited third down situations. He might.
When's the last time Pittsburgh played here?
21, right? Or 22.
That's right. You know what? They
21
did.
or 22.
Was it the COVID?
It was a blowout. No, in 22.
Oh, that's right.
2022, the year they went to the Super
yeah.
Bowl.
AJ had a huge game against them.
Yeah.
Yep, that's exactly right.
Yeah,
Pointing at everybody. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I do remember that.
Yeah.
Oh, those were the good old days, man. That was awesome.
Hey, we're still in the good days.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
No, you're putting it in people's heads now.
You're right.
You're still in the good days. If I'm not mistaken, I believe we had the same exact record in 22 as we do right now.
Yeah, that's right.
Is that the same record? Okay.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Well, I will say
case.
There you go, yeah.
Four straight years also. I know your goals are much higher, but 4 straight years in the playoffs for you guys. 4 years under Nick Sirianni, 4 playoff appearances. That's not something you just sneeze at. That's
the Giants would kill for that. A lot of teams would kill for playoffs in 4 out of 4 years.
Do I need to bring up a few weeks ago when there was talks on the media with Sirianni?
Oh, yeah. Well, the good thing is,
not from anyone up here. I'll say that.
The fact that he was going crazy, I still say he was going, and y'all benefited tremendously from that.
Crazy wins.
Yeah, he went full on Britney Spears.
I think it was the Many Men video.
Hey, it worked.
And I appreciate
whatever it takes.
Yes,
whatever it takes, and we're going to leave it at that because the big fella said whatever it takes. Listen. Congratulations on yesterday's win. Good luck moving forward. Yes, Hugh, it's time to get up out of here. Thank you to Landon. Monday Night Football.